foreground, middle ground, background. So let's just look for architectural renders. Okay. So notice that they do place their building at the third, right? About if they can help it, right? If it's too tight, then of course maybe a nice subject at the third. Anything interesting will be placed at the third. So this corner is interesting, so they place it at the third of the uh, composition. And then they will place buildings. That will be the background. They try to hide the horizon line so you don't see that. And then you'll place a foreground object like a tree here. Okay, so that's a nice composition. Rule of thirds, a foreground object, the subject, middle ground, and background objects. So you hide the horizon line. Okay, so some foreground texture, okay, your subject, and then you hide your background. Okay, again, some foreground objects. This is somewhere in the center, right? It could have been nicer if it was placed at the third and then hiding the background objects. Okay. So if you do that, let's say I have already placed some trees here at the background. I have a nice foreground object. My subject is here. Again, right now I'm not. I haven't hidden my background object. But let's say I have done that, and then I place here some landscaping, maybe some pool, streets, and added materials. Once you have done that, you can now create or add scene or create a scene by clicking this button. Now you have to go here, similar to the default tray, and if you don't see that, you can go to Windows, Default, Tray, and make sure Scenes is checked. Okay. All you need to do is click on the plus mark, and that scene is now recorded. Everything here is actually recorded, including the visual style, and what's turned on or off. All of these are recorded in that scene. You can rename the scene, right click, say rename, and let's say this is my exterior perspective. Okay, enter, and then I can create another scene. So I have here under camera, standard views, let's say I want a front view. Okay, and maybe I want it to be orthographic in projection or parallel projection. I'll check parallel projection. So that's my front view. I can maybe hide this car. So say hide, and just focus on the building itself. So let's say that's my front view. I need it for my studio presentation. I'm going to create a scene. Say plus. Okay, right click, rename that. So let's say front view, enter. And then I can create another view, standard view, let's say left side view. Okay, and let's say I would like to hide this in this particular view or scene, so I can do that. Select, hide. There you go. Oops. Hide. Okay, go back to my view. Sorry, camera, standard view, left. Okay. Once I'm happy with all my settings, then I can say add scene. And then I can rename that. Let's say rename left view or left side view, enter. And maybe I want another view, let's say a bird's eye view, and I'll turn off parallel projection, so it's a perspective 2-point perspective view. And let's just say I want to save this scene. So I'm going to say add scene and rename that. So it's easy to add scenes. So let's say this is a bird's eye view. Now once you have your views, you can, in a presentation, click on one view, and notice that this now, because it was showing in this particular scene, it turns on. Okay, this as well. Front view, that particular tree or the car is hidden, so it gets hidden. Left view, so you have a nice transition animation for each of the view.